The 2012 and 48th Farnborough International Air Show is underway, introduced by the Red Arrows and a Vulcan bomber. This international showcase of all things aerospace brings together companies and clients from across the globe, but is vital for the British aerospace and defence industries. That's why Prime Minister David Cameron was here early, anxious to announce his government's keen support in a variety of ways. Well, Reece, so far a very good show. Can you tell me what the relationship is between ADS, your company, and the Farnborough Air Show?
Well, it's a very simple relationship. ADS owns Farnborough International Limited. It's a wholly owned subsidiary of the company, and we work very, very closely with that organisation, as you can see in the delivery of the air show.
And this has got to be a fairly important shop window, not just for yourselves, but for the UK aerospace industry and your members in particular.
Absolutely right. This is the shop window. Arguably the premier air show in the world. I think Paris might argue a little bit about that, but I'm quite clear. With 1,500, in excess of 1,500 exhibitors, 73 international delegations, 42 countries represented, over 50% of the nations, the exhibitors here are from overseas. That makes us a truly international air show, and a shop window for all of our members to get their wares on display.
Are you encouraged by the fact that David Cameron spent so much time here as Prime Minister earlier this morning, talking to exhibitors, walking through the show very relaxed and taking, I have to say, a keen interest in even the minutiae of jet engine blades?
An exceptional performance by the Prime Minister. We're hugely grateful that he's been the first Prime Minister in living memory. And living memory goes back at least 30 years to open Farnborough Air Show. It's the kind of commitment we've been looking for from government, but this government gets it. This is growth in the economy. This is the civil aviation community in particular, and defence also. This is the better part of 1 million jobs. It's £60 billion worth of turnover and £22 billion worth of exports. The government have seen us, heard us, and the ministers and the government ministers are hugely supportive of what we are doing.
In terms of the competitors around the world, and you've already mentioned Paris and their air show, the French have a keen defence industry. Do you think we're holding our own? Do you think we're succeeding even more now with the government backing?
Well, before this administration came into power, on the civil aviation side, we had 17% of the world market in civil aviation, and in defence we had about 20% of the addressable market. So you heard from Prime Minister Cameron this morning. The government does not want to pick winners; they want to back winners, and that's what we got from the Prime Minister this morning. An acknowledgement that both for civil aerospace and for defence there were winners here in the UK economy, contributing immensely to the UK economy, and the only way they were going to stay there was to get proper investment. And what we saw from the Prime Minister was two things. In the Airspace Growth Partnership is now well in place, and there's a very useful dialogue going on between industry and the government about where the investment should be placed, and it will be investment from government and investment from industry. And on defence, you saw the first indication of what I might term a defence growth partnership, so that we can do the same in defence. The details of that have yet to come out.
What would you like to see finally then as a result, the outcome of this particular show, particularly for all your members who have been hard pressed and are now starting to get on top of things? What would you like to see for them and yourselves?
I think this air show represents a watershed. Going forward in defence, the Defence Secretary of State has said that he's now got his programme back in balance, and we applaud that. That should bring a lot more certainty and clarity going forward. And for industry and for my members, clarity and certainty is excellent, because we now know where we can invest and why we would invest and how we will invest. On the civil aviation side, similarly, there is a huge growth market out there. By 2029, another 26,000 units will be in place. The growth markets in Asia are huge. We are the second biggest aerospace sector in the world, second only to the United States. Investing in this will produce huge value for the United Kingdom. Those are the things we see going forward.
Whether your interest is in fast jets screaming across the sky or the fantastic Airbus A380 showing acrobatic manoeuvrability, Farnborough 2012 has plenty going on, and the industry is showing that its prospects are good. John Thompson, ADS News.